Warning, warning. Subject's now on the run. Pursuit in progress. Oh dear.
Welcome back. We made it, Darnell, out of the safe zone. And you know where we are
My
now?
soul.
You recognise those birds? This is California. That's the
Californian eagle.
Yeah, I know him.
Tanhony, I don't know. Ever since you took my soul out of my body, I feel so weak and drained.
That's good. That's your natural state.
No.
That's what humans should be like.
We've got to... Hang on. We've got to read through these files. Maybe something can restore my power.
In order to hotwire this car so we can get out of here, I need to read some SCP files. It's like Professor Layton with his puzzles.
I'm sorry for peaking the audio, but what the fuck does that have to do with the hot
It's like a puzzle. It's the puzzle to hotwire the car.
What's the puzzle part?
Reading. After all, what is reading but a puzzle? A cipher.
No, this is not what reading is.
What would you
if that's what reading is, that means you probably have dyslexia.
What would you call school but the tutorial for the puzzle?
Wow, you're kind of hitting on a deep topic there, huh? Is school really a tutorial for life? And if so, how come I couldn't just skip it? This is so sad.
Anyway, this is a
I'm
tough
just kidding,
car.
kids, by the way.
It's a Model 4.0, which means I'll have to read 4 SCPs to take it over.
This is how this new reality works.
What do you mean? This is always how it's been.
Hey, I need a cup of coffee. You're gonna have to read half an SCP for that, sweetie.
Of course. Are you ready? We have 4. Count them! 4 SCPs.
1, 2, 3, 4. I counted them.
Good.
Just for you.
You'll live. The first one. Okay, that's seriously though. Welcome to Discovery SCP.
Yeah, I hope you like the lore. It's so rich and well thought out.
Yeah, it totally doesn't come into existence 5 seconds before I say it.
Right.
The first. So actually, I should probably introduce the episode here as well.
Yeah, you're gonna give me a link?
Today we're going to be reading some explained SCPs. We've read one of these previously. Darnell, do you recall what they are?
Yeah, we read the Furred Trout, but if I went over this with Tan to be sure. I'm pretty sure an explained SCP is something that the Foundation thought was anomalous, but then it had a normal, within the laws of reason explanation. Right? Because to be anomalous, you have to disobey the laws of physics or some sort of science.
Yeah, or just be fucky.
So if you can be scientifically explained. Now, I have a question. Are there any explains that are scientifically explained, but it's with bullshit movie science instead of real science?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyway.
Because I know the Furred Trout, the thing was there was just a fungus on them, and they thought it was this new creature. He gave his life for the Furred Trout.
Shall we?
Maybe you know what the Furred Trout represented? The Furred Trout represented an idyllic world, and when he found out that it didn't really exist, that's when he knew that life was just life, and he had to move on.
Yeah. Shall we get into...
So what's the first one you got for us today?
SCP-067-EX, called Rurik Inn by Ekium.
So these explains aren't coordinated to the actual 067, right?
No. We can assume this is what previously had that slot.
Okay. Wow, there's a lot of shit crossed out.
Shall we get into it?
Yeah, it's a good thing you read these.
Item number, SCP-067. I won't do the X every time because I can't be bothered. Object class Euclid. No! Explained. See addenda. Special containment procedures. The SCP is being contained on location at 02 Everett Road, Bristol ME, 04554. Everett Road is to be removed from all map databases to be labelled private property to discourage trespassing.
I have a question. Because I see part of it's crossed out and then it says that thing's been suspended. Does that mean they still contain this thing even after it's been explained? They just don't do that part of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would they still contain it, though, if it's just a normal biological thing?
We'll see. A fence is to be constructed around the premises and cameras placed within the property. SCP-067 is to receive follow-up examinations once per month by the research team, based out of Site-162 in J. Vermont. Yeah. Repairs to the exterior to be made as needed, though none are permitted on the interior. This part is...
So what I'm thinking is whatever this thing is, it's probably a location, like a building of some kind.
So this part is crossed out. After thorough review, Foundation staff of Level 2 clearance or higher are potentially eligible for a period of stay at SCP-067.
Yeah.
Applicants must fill out Form W06719. Both the Security Director for Site 162 as well as the Director of the applicant's facility must approve the application. The time of continuous stay of the SCP-067 is not to exceed a period of 3 days. This practice has been permanently suspended. Containment procedures for this item are undergoing extensive re-evaluation. See Addendum 067C.
And then we've got a special addendum from June 11th, 2004.
Yeah. At this time, the SCP is considered to be non-anomalous and has been marked as explained. The procedures outlined above are to be considered nullified and are preserved for historical purposes only. The building itself has been demolished and the land is now being used for Foundation's weapon and technology field testing. Information regarding GOI L-19 has been handed over to local law enforcement.
Alright, so what do we got here?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever this thing is, there's a lot of addendums.
Shall I popcorn the description over to you?
Okay. SCP-067, also known as Ururuk Inn by its welcome sign, is a 20th century rustic inn located in Bristol. Don't meme me because there are a lot of states with M and I don't remember which one's M-E.
Massachusetts.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Massachusetts, the real state.
No, it's Maine.
Yeah, I know. I know because Massachusetts doesn't exist.
What do you mean?
Massachusetts?
It's a real state.
Massachusetts? Can you hear how I'm saying this? M-E?
Oh, you were saying Massachusetts. It's
Yeah.
your fucking British accent. It sounded like you were still saying Massachusetts.
That's a what?
I hate your... Did I tell you guys that Tan ruined my... Okay, you know what? That's a story for the end. Remind me to tell that anecdote at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so Bristol, Maine. The building has a total of 16 rooms and is in fairly good condition. From the exterior, SCP-067 appears and has been described to be completely typical for the architecture of Bristol, Maine. The entirety of the inside of SCP-067 is covered with and inhabited by roughly 11,200 species of fungi. Is that the gimmick of every Explained, is it's just fungi did it? Is that it?
No.
While several of these fungi have yet to be identified, the majority are known species. Fungi within SCP-067 have shown the ability to move and grow almost instantaneously, and often tend to do so in tandem with each other. Several forms of toxic molds have been discovered within the building, though the danger this poses to the health of personnel is minimal and well within acceptable limits. Multiple species... What are acceptable limits? You will literally kill people for no reason in SCP. I mean, I feel like there are no limits, right?
No.
I'm asking you, Tim. What do you think?
You know, it's just like... I don't know, you don't want to, like, kill off, like, the important people. I mean, D-class...
so as long as it's the people that don't matter.
Yeah, it's like D-class, D stands for disposable.
Yeah, D stands for dumb. Multiple species of animals, ranging from deer to pigs to squirrels to birds, etc., have been noted to inhabit SCP-067, so this just sounds like an abandoned building. Animals bear tumorous growths and fungal infections on the majority of their bodies, and have occasionally been observed walking upright while wearing formal clothing. It's the Animal Crossing SCP.
Freddy?
Is that going to be the gimmick? Is that it was actually another SCP and they were just wandering over here?
Well,
These entities have been collectively designated SCP-067-1. 067-1 appear to act as the caretakers of the inn. Oh my god. And will often greet guests. Instances of 067-1 have so far not proven capable of speech, but appear to understand English and some French. Provide them meals and show them to a bedroom. Hold on, how is this not anomalous?
I know, this is obviously in the wrong place. So yeah, when you're posting articles on the wiki, make sure you post under the correct category, because it can end up weird like this. Well, I guess we already started reading, so we might as well just keep going.
No, it's definitely going to end with something else was the SCP, and they were just hanging out over here.
Oh yeah, we'll say it in red.
I forgot my sentence already! I can't. I'll say this in red, Tanhony. You are stupid, so...
No, not effective.
Due to currently unknown factors, both video cameras and... If you guys can't tell, it's shifted from Star Wars to Umineko now, by the way. That's the new Tanhony obsession. Due to currently unknown factors, both video cameras and audio recording devices do not function properly within SCP-067. As such, all research regarding the anomaly is conducted in person. Individuals entering SCP-067 have reported feelings of anxiety and unease at seeing both the interior of the building and instances of SCP-067-1. This is not believed to be an anomalous fact, but merely a natural reaction. However, shortly after being shown to a bedroom, Individuals have reported intense feelings of happiness and relaxation. Persons who have spent the night at 067 have claimed they slept incredibly well, experienced pleasant dreams, and awoke content, refreshed, and de-stressed. Research into this phenomenon is ongoing. Alright, I'll popcorn the addendums off to you, because
Okay.
I'm supposed to be reacting, buddy.
Addendum 067A. Recent soil analysis of the property of the SCP has revealed unusually high amounts of acetic acid, adipocere, which is a waxy substance made via the breakdown of fat tissues, and thiols.
Delicious.
Such substances are most likely a result of animal decomposition and can be a contributing factor to the SCP's unusual density of fungi, as well as its pungent smell.
Is this just a building that a serial killer buried a lot of bodies in?
Further inspection has also revealed that the usage of recording devices with the SCP is only disrupted if the equipment used is particularly sensitive to external conditions, though while what these particular conditions are is uncertain. The research team has changed their equipment accordingly. Recently recorded footage from inside the inn has shown numerous discrepancies with the current item description. Notably, instances of the SCP were not observed to greet, offer meals to, or show bedrooms to anyone, and at no point could be seen wearing clothing. It's been proposed that this could mean that their appearance is altered by a cognitohazard.
I think I realized what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Did the first time they explore this, did they eat some of the fungi?
I don't think so.
Because it makes sense if, they were on shrooms, so that's why they thought that. And now it's not happening anymore.
So Addendum 067B. Analysis has shown that individual accounts of events occurring inside the SCP should be inconsistent not only with video recording, but with each other. A confirmation test logged by Dr. Kleinsman, Dr. Orion, and several tripod-mounted camcorders has yielded the following results. Experiment 067-B6.
Oh, this is kind of long.
Supervisor Dr. Kleinsman, date 5/02/2004, location SCP-067. Preliminary supervisor notes, Dr. Loganivar is out today, but I've decided to approve today's test regardless. Orion will be filling in. Involved personnel is Dr. Kleinsman, junior researcher Emily Orion, and containment staff, and co. Procedures is 1. Set up recording equipment in various locations throughout the house. 2A. Remain in SCP-067 for a duration of 8 hours. Analyze surroundings and events. 2B. Remain within line of sight of the cameras whenever possible. 3. Record observations.
Yeah. This makes me think they got on shrooms.
The Kleinsman, first instance of the SCP-1 noted at roughly 1:33 p.m. in dining room, raccoon laying on table. Orion, raccoon on dining room table, 1:35 p.m., it's sleeping. Cameras. So the cameras in dining hall recorded a raccoon having entered the dining room at 1:28 p.m., where it climbed upon the table and slept for several hours. No evidence indicates this was an instance of -1 and was likely an ordinary raccoon. The Kleinsman, instance of SCP-0671, a deer, approached us and motioned us towards the bedrooms. 2:18 p.m. Deer was badly manged. Orion, at around 2:18 p.m, an instance of SCP-067-1 indicated through non-verbal means it would be making us dinner.
What? How does it do that non-verbally?
That's right. Camera. Cameras in hallway 1 recorded a badly manged deer flailing wildly, standing on its hind legs several times.
So how is this not anomalous? You know what this is? Is this SCP Rashomon, where everybody just has their own version of the truth?
So, Kleinsman. Emily and I
have so
found
many
a
theories.
severed
It's probably going to be something fucking stupid.
Emily and I found a severed moose leg in the fridge at 4:55 p.m. Orion. Kleinsman approached me at 4:59 p.m. with a mouldy piece of food that appeared to be a chicken wing. The walls are moving.
Okay, yep, that sounds like shrooms.
Cameras in both the kitchen and lounge recorded Dr. Kleinsman obtaining a mushroom-covered stick from near the fridge, mumbling the phrase, "they're working together," and proceeding to show the stick to Dr. Orion, who at the time was sitting on the couch in the living room staring blankly at the walls, which at no time moved. 5:51 p.m. Animals in the mold want to show me something. I can see it in their eyes. General feeling of calmness. Then Orion says, I've been shown my room by a lovely fox. He's sitting here on my bed. Thank you, Fox. Time is 6:02 p.m. And the cameras throughout the house show Dr. Kleinsman intently observing several squirrels, all of whom act disorientated. Dr. Ryan can be observed in bedroom 2, petting a taxidermied red fox. Post-results supervisor notes. We can now confirm that the anomalous qualities of the SCP are not as physical as we first thought. All the animals filled during the experiment were most likely ordinary animals under the SCP's influence. It's possible...
So, by the way, how many explains are there? Do they also go up to the 5,000s, or are they much more erratic?
Not as many.
Okay.
It's possible that the inn, or possibly the unusual amount of fungi inside it, are affecting the minds of animals and individuals inside the building.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt again. I keep doing it. I have too many thoughts in my head. Has anyone done like a clever 001 proposal that they did an 001EX?
There is.
And the thing is like okay, because I was gonna say like the Foundation was founded on something they thought was anomalous, but it wasn't. But then they have found anomalous things since.
We'll see. This would explain the odd behaviour observed among the animals. Of note is the fact that a deer mentioned in the above log bears strong resemblance to one that was struck by a truck driver later that night, roughly 3 kilometres away. See article by Lincoln County News, man in truck jumped by crazy deer.
Wait, where are we? Are we still in B? Addendum B?
Yeah, post-results supervisor notes. The description.
Okay, there it is.
The description of the deer, as given by the driver to the police department, matches the erratic behaviour of the deer described in the log. It is clear to the SCP's research staff that at least a portion of the current description for the SCP is demonstrably false. It is likely to do with a mind-affecting phenomena, which is possibly mimetic or hallucinogenic in nature. Would you like to read a little email here?
Yeah. To Containment Specialist Armstrong. From Dr. Kleinsman! Subject 067 request for immediate containment revisions. Following additional soil analysis conducted by Dr. Loganova, it has come to our attention that the organic materials inside and around the anomaly are emitting baseline radiation levels of 1 MSV/H. This is good news in that we now better understand SCP-067, but bad news when you account for Emily Orion and I soaking up an average of 24 MSV, or roughly 10 years' worth of background radiation exposure, over the course of a single day-long excursion. And we've done 11 of those excursions in the past 6 months. This is almost certainly why our original equipment was having difficulty functioning. See my attached schedule and get back to me as soon as you can.
Right, shall I read the last addendum?
You have 670. Yes, you shall.
As of 6/11/2004, the SCP is considered an explained phenomenon. This decision was made after 2 separate and crucial discoveries. 1. The discovery of a previously unknown fungus, dubbed Orion's Cup, Calcium Orion.
Oh, hey, Emily got to name it after herself.
Yeah, it's nice. This fungus was noted to produce a chemical compound named CT4 that interferes with neurotransmitters, including the reuptake of serotonin and dopamine, resulting in mild hallucinations and a feeling of euphoria.
So this actually makes me happy and eases my worries, because one of my main concerns with SCPs and Explained is, like, let's say they discover something that can be scientifically explained, but it's a species or a new chemical that's never been, like, discovered. How do they tell if that means it's anomalous or not? And this kind of answers that question.
CT4 is also responsible for partial loss of motor control, though this effect is less apparent in humans. This accounts for the bizarre behaviour observable with the majority of the animals in the inn, who are most likely drawn to the fungi due to it being a rich food source. It was also concluded that the presence of the fungi itself, while unusual, could potentially be explained by the presence of numerous decaying organics underground and or high levels of radiation. Such scenarios are uncommon due to their nature, but are wholly within the realm of understanding. 2. Following the identification of high radiation within the soil, excavation of the area was approved on blank by containment specialist Lisa P. Armstrong. This prompted the discovery of blank kilograms of uranium ore, as well as 29 human corpses in various stages.
Dude! Did I call the serial killer? Am I just the hugest brain in the entire SCP fandom?
Let's find out.
Probably.
Directly underneath the SCP. Examination of the body suggests the cause of death to be a variety of cancerous growths, symptoms of chronic radiation poisoning. Various other materials found alongside the ore bear a resemblance to those used in the making of nuclear reactors. It is believed that the decaying bodies, in conjunction with radiation, induced the flourishing of fungi within the building, which in turn attracted other animals.
Oh, and the radiation also might have made the new species by, like, damaging the genetics or something. I don't know.
The individuals responsible for the presence of the bodies, ores, and materials, designated GOI-L19, have not been identified. It's possible that this group is still active and are attempting to construct a nuclear reactor using expendable workers under unsafe or illegal conditions. The location and motives are unclear, but all relevant information has been turned over to both local and federal departments. If found, individuals of this group must be detained to ensure they do not pose information security risk.
Another question I have is, it seems the SCP Foundation works a lot with local and federal law enforcement, but so how does that work? Do local and federal police know of the existence of the Foundation to an extent, or is it more like whenever they take something anomalous, they fucking Men in Black can't memory flash them, and they... Yeah. Because it makes sense with the federal government, because they're much more powerful, but like your fucking average town cops knowing about the Foundation feels weird.
Further perplexing is the fact that most of the deceased individuals were deemed to have died after the area came under Foundation control at SCP-067-EX. It's likely the SCP's premises were breached under cover of night, as the security cameras placed around the perimeter of the area were not equipped with an infrared filter and functioned incredibly poorly in low-light conditions. This in itself constitutes a significant Foundation oversight, and upon further inspection, it is not believed that the SCP's containment procedures were ever up to Foundation standards. Disciplinary action will be taken against the SCP's containment team, as their oversight is responsible for the GOI's continued activity, and consequently, completely avoidable civilian deaths and potential security breaches. Fiend.
Whoa! Tanhony, look! One fourth of the place where the car key goes is lit up!
Yeah.
We're doing it right!
One of the 4 gems is illuminated.
We have to keep going! We have to keep explaining these SCPs!
Wow. If I knew it was this easy, I would have done this years ago. Thanks,
You only
Darnell.
need to read... No problem. Ow! It hurts without my soul!
Oh.
Quick, we've got to go to the soul hospital so
No.
I can get healed!
No,
What?
I don't care.
What do you mean? Why? I'm in pain.
Does it hurt?
Oh, shit! Oh, fuck.
You okay?
Actually... I leaned back in my chair and it decided to break and I almost fell. That was terrifying. I can't believe you actually almost killed me. Yeah, my chair's all fucked up now. It does not work. It's leaning way too far back. Oh, this is not safe. I can't believe you actually tried to kill me with psionic powers.
It was so easy.
Well, it wasn't easy because you fucking failed, so... How about that?
Were you mad at me?
Because you almost killed me!
But I didn't, though. It was okay.
I'll destroy you. Alright, give me the next one.
Destroy me? You think you're capable of such a feat?
It would be so easy. You didn't even finish your canon renaissance contest.
Here's the next one. SCP-4445-EX.
Oh, this one does go all the way to Series 5.
Yeah, but they're
You
just sort of
lied to
random.
me.
This one's by Wery Liam.
Oh, we forgot to rate the last one. Who was the author of the last one?
It was Ikium.
Alright, last one, I give an 8 out of 10. Fun, creative. Okay, Werillium. That's another name that I recognize. I think that's another person on Ico's server. Nice. I think I've seen him around. I realize now that I'm just passively meeting SCP authors at this point. I don't even realize it.
Right
Anyone could be an SCP author. You should root them out and report them to your government officials.
Exactly. There's only one you can trust, and that's me.
Yeah, the best one.
This one is called Jurassic Symbiotic Quadruped.
Oh, based? Is it a dinosaur?
Let's find out. Item number SCP-4445-EX. Object class exoplaned. Special containment procedures.
Oh, I want to make it because it's probably wrong, but I want to make a wild guess.
Okay.
I bet they thought this was going to be some ancestor of 682, and it's just a dinosaur. It's my guess.
Let's find out. Special containment procedures. The SCP's habitat has been declared a conservation zone for appropriate Foundation fronts. Teams are to monitor the SCP's population and keep civilians away.
What?
Description. The SCP-EX are quadrupedal vertebrates, similar instructions to members of the clade Thyreophora. Instances of the SCP possess thick, segmented skin over a layer of calcite scales, similar to the skin of caecilians and other amphibians, and are usually bright green, blue, or purple in colour. These creatures are able to partially breathe through their skin, whether submerged in water or on land.
Are these just crocodiles?
No. You ever seen a purple crocodile?
Maybe, I don't know.
No, you haven't. Don't even try.
I'm gonna Google purple crocodile.
I wonder what he'll find.
There's a purple crocodile right here, so you're an idiot.
Yeah, but you've not seen one, have you?
Well, that's because I...
How can you prove its existence if you haven't seen it in person?
Ooh.
Let's get into it.
Alright, let's leave that for another day.
Yes. The heads of the SCP are small for their body size and contain 2 small eyes, a bifurcated tongue, just like me, and a polyp-shaped mass of sensory tentacles.
You have a snake tongue?
No, don't worry about it. This organ detects a polyp-shaped mass of sensory tentacles emerging from the upper snout, just like me.
Ooh.
This organ
What the
detects
fuck is this
vibration
thing?
and infrared light. SCP-45-EX is back. Is colonized by 17 to 22 bright green, symbiotic, cuttlefish-like organisms that are fused to its body and share its bloodstream. These organisms are flattened into a triangular shape and help sustain the SCP through a combination of photosynthesis and nitrogen fixing. In return, the SCP feeds mainly on soil and river plants, providing necessary minerals to the symbiotes. The SCP and its symbiotes share a nervous system, and the chromatophores in the symbiotes allow for brief colour changes depending on the SCP's condition, including when it is startled, flashing white, territorial, magenta, or asleep, aquamarine.
What a pretty animal.
Yeah, badass. I bet it could kill a T-Rex with ease.
Probably not.
The mating season for the SCP lasts approximately 2 months, from mid-August to mid-October. During this period, male SCP instances' tongues will engorge and quadruple in size. Males use their tongues to dig through the soil and riverbeds searching for specific rocks. Next, male instances will use their spiked tails to dig roughly circular ditches and line them with their chosen rocks, then lie down in the centre of their circles, like making a Tinder profile. Female SCP instances will seek out a male with a suitable rock circle. Once one is selected, the female will slowly walk around the circle, eating the rocks as she walks. Once she has completed her evolution, the female will call to the male and flash its symbiote indigo, at which point the male will extend its tongue towards the female and insert it fully into her mouth. Oh no.
Wait, they have babies by kissing? That's it?
Just like humans, right?
Yeah. Yeah, guys, nobody tell Tanhony how babies are made. Nobody in the comments tell him.
I need to know.
No, he
For
doesn't.
my plans.
What are your plans?
Mitosis.
Oh.
After 5 to 6 months, the female SCP will lay a clutch of small, elongated eggs that hatch within a few weeks. Juvenile instances lack back symbiotes. Their mothers therefore regurgitate small symbiote eggs to the young upon hatching.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
The eggs migrate to the young SCP's back upon consumption, where they hatch. Once hatched, the symbiotes fuse to the instance and grow steadily as it ages. Several herds of the SCP were discovered and classified as SCP during an exploration mission in the New Guinea Highlands, where a long-hidden canyon system and river had been exposed. Since then, 8 other subspecies of the SCP have been discovered. Study and dissection of SCP instances from several different subspecies show that their skeletons are identical to various species of stegosaur fossils, including Stegosaurus, Worosaurus, and Hesperosaurus.
Hesperosaurus, yeah.
Following discovery, usage of various anomalous objects was requisitioned by NCF Phi-2, Clever Girls, and granted in an attempt to view stegosaurs during their original timeline, resurrect stegosaurs from fossils, or recreate stegosaurs from DNA sources. All attempts resulted in the SCP. Oh. So stegosaurs were actually these then.
It's the weirdest thing. I spent 20 years studying fossils, learning how to try to put bones together right, and I'm just absolutely blindsided by these things and how perfectly they fit the fossil record. You'd never expect that stegosaurs looked like this. Dr. Karina Barrera, lead paleontologist.
In 2007, a joint zoology paleontology department's research team determined that no part of the SCP was anomalous, and that their physiology and symbiosis could be explained through existing evolutionary theory.
So, for the audience, if you're not aware, basically this is, because I used to want to be a paleontologist.
If you're not aware, stegosaurs are dinosaurs.
No, if you're not aware, this is kind of a joke at paleontology, because like every fucking 10 to 20 years, they're like, no, actually this is what the dinosaur looked like. And no one fucking knows, it's all conjecture. And I'm sure you've heard stories of like bones that were mismatched up until like 10 years ago or whatever.
Imagine what they think of your bones.
Oh, no.
What will they make?
But yeah,
of
it's
you?
just kind of a joke on that. I liked it. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think that's a good solid rating for these. Like, they don't really wow me, but they're also, they're well written, they're fun.
Nice.
They're just nice to breeze through. That's how I feel.
Let me give this one an upvote if I'm logged in. Of course I'm not, because the SCP Wiki doesn't work. Alright, hang on. Alright, I gave it an upvote.
Well done.
Thanks, I worked really hard on that. Alright, give me another one.
Item number, SCP-1933-EX. Oh, sorry, I forgot to actually give you the link or anything there. I got caught up in my own momentum.
Whoa! What's that? The second of the 4 things lit up around the keyhole?
One of the car diamonds. It's glowing.
A car diamond?
Yes, there's one in each corner of the car.
While Tanhony's distracted by the car diamonds, I go into the GPS and program in the location of the Soul Hospital.
I take the pistol out of the glove compartment and point at you. Don't do anything.
Whoa!
Don't do anything unnecessary, bastard. I say.
Bastard! Is that my new name?
Yeah.
Bastard, you're bastard.
No longer doornail, but bastard.
Honestly, I prefer bastard to Darnell. God, I hate Darnell.
We have
I
now
don't know why, I just
successfully
hate
determined that all comments will be on this video will be censored.
Bastard!
Put that GPS down on the ground. Now. Immediately, please.
Okay. I'm laying it down.
I angle the gun down and shoot it into pieces.
Buckana! You fool! That GPS was a timed bomb! We've got 30 seconds to hotwire the rest
This
30 minutes to hotwire the rest of the car before it goes off!
That's not all. You remember your GF, Maribella?
No.
Her mind was digitized inside that GPS. I've slain her.
Hang on, Tan will read this SCP while I have a panic attack.
Okay. So the next SCP, SCP-1933-EX by Recursive Recursion, and it's called the Lake Blank Monster.
I really like that name, Recursive Recursion.
Nice.
Yeah, that was definitely a name made by someone with an extremely high IQ. I really like it.
I remember.
So someone not like Tanhony.
I shoot the GPS again.
Maribella!
Item number, SCP-1933-EX. Object class.
I'm not going to read the EXs. It'll take too much time.
Well, I do it the first
Also
time. Object class not Euclid, but exoplaned. Special containment procedures. Lake Blank has been monitored for appearances of SCP-1933. Civilians approaching the lake could be turned away on the grounds of the area being scouted out for construction. Due to the SCP's mimetic effects, removal from the lake is highly unlikely to occur. Individuals who claim to have seen SCP-1933 to be considered Class A amnestics are released. Personnel being transferred to research the SCP and not to be informed of the SCP or any documentation regarding it until they have observed it firsthand. Individuals discovering this document without having first seen the SCP are advised to immediately exit this document and contact Dr. B. Reynard as soon as possible for Class A amnestics or observation of the SCP. Crossed out. No special containment procedures are required for the SCP at this time. Distribution of Class A amnestics to subjects who claim to have observed the SCP is currently discontinued. Interesting, right?
Is this the Loch Ness Monster?
Description revised. SCP-1933-EX is allegedly a creature measuring an estimated 6 to 8 meters in length, residing in Lake Blank, British Columbia. So not the Loch Ness Monster.
Okay.
Exact details vary from report to report, but the SCP is almost always reported to have a long serpent-like neck and head, a similarly long tail, dark blue coloration, and long leaf-like protrusions running from the base of its head to the end of its body, like that one Pokemon.
Lapras?
No, like tree leaf or whatever the fuck it is. It got bananas hanging from its head.
Oh, Tropius?
Yeah, I always liked Tropius.
Tropius is cool.
However...
Oh, we just talking about Pokemon for the rest of the podcast? Yeah, I really like Charizard, you know. It's just, that'd be a cool SCP.
Have you heard of Squirtle?
Squirtle? That's the strongest Pokemon.
Yeah. However, SCP-1933- has been, in each report of sighting, quickly determined to have been a misidentified common occurrence, such as a large piece of driftwood, large eel or fish, or simple unreliable testimony.
So it's a joke about the Loch Ness Monster, but it isn't the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, it's meant to sort of make you think of it. Recovered footage of the SCP has been easily explained by photo or video manipulation or intentional staging to simulate an SCP encounter. It is most likely that reports of the SCP are the result of subjects being influenced by local myths and legends.
Sheeple! They are sheeple! You know there's some SCP doctor that calls fucking civilians sheeple. They're unaware of the ultimate plane that is anomalies.
These yokels.
Yokels?
Why don't I popcorn the actual description to you?
What if you didn't? Because I just took a bite of my sandwich.
I can't believe you've done this. Description. The SCP is an unidentified aquatic creature, measuring an estimated 6 to 8 meters in length, residing in Lake Blank, British Columbia. The SCP is dark blue in coloration, possessing a long, smooth neck and tail, serpentine head, and numerous leaf-like protrusions running from the base of its head to the end of its body. Details regarding the lower half of its body are predominantly unknown, as never been observed to beach itself or surface more than its neck and upper half of its body.
Huh, how coincidental.
As the SCP does not appear to possess gills, it is currently theorized to reside in an underwater cave, which is where one of the stars is that Mario has to find. which is currently being searched for using sonar.
We've recorded this location as Dire Docks.
SCP-1933 has been observed camouflaging itself with aquatic plants or fallen trees, and ambushing large prey that approaches the water, as well as preying on passing birds and fish. The SCP has been observed to actively avoid boats in most situations, but has occasionally attacked solitary humans entering or around the lake.
I bet they feel real stupid after writing that now. Also, I finished my sandwich bite, so I can take over if you want.
Please do.
SCP-1933 possesses a secondary effect, possibly mimetic in nature, that causes those who become aware of it from any method except first-hand experience, including documentation, personal testimony, or video or photo evidence, to become extremely unwilling to consider its existence. This can include finding flaws in a subject's testimony that are not actually present, seeing wires, animatronics, or photo manipulation when none are present, or verbally shutting down conversation regarding 1933. Excuse me. This is thought to be the result of a defense mechanism designed to keep potential prey from becoming wary of approaching the lake. You know what this reminds me of? Have you ever heard of a false hydra?
No. I think the phrase.
Right, do I have time to talk about a false hydra, or should I wait till later?
Tell me what it is.
So a false hydra, it's a custom D&D enemy. So it's like this giant sack of flesh that lives deep underground.
Right, yeah.
And
when it kills someone, you forget about them, right?
Yeah, well, it's constantly singing a song so that people don't notice it, and whenever they see results of its impact, like dead bodies or stuff, their brain rationalizes, like if they trip over a dead body, their brain will instead rationalize, oh, I tripped over a stone, and like they won't see all the damage going around, and then it just keeps getting bigger.
Nice.
Well, this has caused significant delay in documentation and observation of 1933. It has expedited ensuring civilians do not become aware of 1933. At time of writing, only a small group of researchers are aware of 1933, and a way of informing the rest of the Foundation of its existence, allowing more effective containment, is being researched. On blank, an experiment with the intent of proving the existence of 1933 to the rest of the Foundation will take place. 1933 will be lured to the surface using the carcass of one elk deposited in the middle of Lake Blank by boat. Dr. Raynard will then contact MTF ETA-10, See No Evil, and attempt to live stream an appearance of 1933 directly to them. If this is a success, then we will have taken the first step in successfully containing 1933. If not, then we're probably all going to be brought in for questioning and/or amnestic treatments. Either way, it's been a pleasure working with you all. B. Raynard, oh, this poor bastard.
Shall I read the second addendum?
So we know the furred trout was like the guy desperately wanted it to be an SCP, but are there any examples of someone actively lying about an explained SCP because they want to get funding?
We'll see someday.
Alright. And then do you want to do the addendum you said?
Sure. So addendum. The SCP was reclassified to explained after a group of researchers, led by Dr. B. Raynard, contacted the MTF 8-10, See No Evil, claiming to have evidence of a possible new cognitive hazardous entity, which we demonstrated to them over a private internet livestream. Personnel viewing the livestream reported that the researchers had constructed an animatronic to resemble the entity they were referring to, which rose out of the lake and jumped under the carcass of an elk.
Oh, so I guess that answers my question right away.
These researchers were quickly located and brought in for questioning. Dr. Raynard was reprimanded for abuse and waste of Foundation resources.
So wait, that's why they wrote the whole thing about people not believing it or seeing animatronics was to cover their own asses.
Dr. Raynard was discovered to have drowned in Lake Blank roughly a week after reclassification of SCP-1933-X in an unrelated boating accident. Footnote, the location of the boat used by the Doctor is unknown, and there are no reports of him ever buying or renting a boat prior. Allegations that Dr. Raynard appeared to have been half-eaten are currently under investigation. Official cause of death is believed to be drowning after extensive blood loss due to injury from a boat propeller.
So he died mysteriously. How did that happen?
Oh, the SCP got him.
I thought the SCP wasn't real.
Well, they just fucking ate him.
No, it didn't. It was a boating accident.
There's no boat.
What?
It says boating accident, and the footnote says there's no boat.
The footnote says the location of the boat is unknown.
And there are no reports.
Okay, I'm confused. Is the SCP supposed to be that it really was real?
Yeah, it really was real.
The Foundation? Damn. Oh, shit. They were live streaming it and they hadn't read the article first. That's why.
Yeah.
No! Dr. Raynard!
He knew! Loch Ness
really-
pokes his head like, you know too much, Doctor.
How do you think See No Evil feels about this?
They're like, sucks man, don't accident.
Why are they
it's like-
playing along?
Because they believe it, because they've been affected by it.
No. Raynard.
I love that boating accident, and then it mentions there's no boat.
No. Raynard Sama. That means this sick fuck is out on the loose. Uncontained. I love that there are like literal, like, quote unquote gods in containment in SCP, but the fucking lake monster
that got
outsmarts them. Yeah. They've gotten Shy Guy, they've gotten fucking the bird that eats the world. They even have Cassie, believe it or not. But they couldn't capture the lake monster. Reynard's beast, the white whale. Oh my god, is there a fucking what what's the word I'm looking for? Moby Dick themed SCP?
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll
Based.
read it.
Alright, what's the last EX you've got for me?
This is... Well, before we do that, this third gem has lit up on the car. So...
Oh,
But we need fuel, you see. Biofuel.
yes.
You
Tanhony?
you don't need both your arms, do you?
You look down and you see I've already stabbed you in the stomach. I'm collecting your biofuel into a cup.
You fool. If you put that
It'll
in
all
the
be
car,
over soon.
my consciousness will flow into it as well.
Good. I need you to become a car for this plan to work.
You fool.
This is where your superhero origin story begins. Tanhony was no longer a person. He is now the Tanhomobile.
Half of my consciousness will remain in this flesh body, but the other half will attain a new form. Tanhony Christine.
Christina!
You fool.
We have to reach
I've
Steins
achieved, now I've
Gate,
achieved it. Mitosis.
No, he's divided! Divided we stand.
That was the half of me in the car.
I hope our whole world performs mitosis at one point, and there's just two worlds.
I would love that. I would love to see the world become two. And I want to see them fight for supremacy.
Yeah.
And then,
Because you know what we could do if there were two worlds? Both worlds could claim the other world was evil, and then we'd all have a common enemy, and things.
see, there's a
we'd all
problem
get
these
along.
days with resources. So here's my idea. Split the world into two, we kill everyone on the other world and take their resources.
Yeah. Think about it. Because then we have a common enemy, so we're bound in unity.
World
and
peace
then-
through world war.
World War III. This time the Earth is gonna split. Mother Earth is weeping.
But not ours.
Do you think if the world split in two that way, people would refer to the other half as Papa Earth instead of Mother Earth? Like Father Earth?
No. In my
Parents
world,
who got a divorce?
it'll be a secret that the enemy is just another Earth. We'll call them the foe.
I've actually just come to a realization, Tanhony, that is haunting me.
Yeah, I assume like
we
the
still
last
have-
5 minutes has nothing to do with
We still have one to do, as well as comments, and I really have to shit. And I don't want to lose our recording now, so we gotta get moving.
Okay. Let's get into it then. SCP-2700-EX. This is called What I Did for Love by The Sherm, who's another SCP YouTuber.
Oh, we should check him out. V-Sherm? Everybody go to V-Sherm's YouTube
V-Sherm.
and be nice to him. Who?
The Sherm.
V-Sherm. Oh, the! Dude, I can't... Your accent is
In
fucking
what
me up.
world is V?
It's the! You're saying the!
I'm saying the.
Okay, the Sherm.
It's your E.
Alright, everybody go check out the Sherm. I'm sure they're a great person, and tell them that you like this work. And if you didn't like it, don't say anything at all.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Right!
Notice from the Ethics Committee. This article has been found to be fraudulent. There is no anomalous activity present. All research...
Remember when you first brought up the ethics committee and I laughed, and now they're like one of my favorite things?
Yeah. All research into the SCP and its cure has been suspended indefinitely. The documentation will be locked, but remains accessible to serve as evidence for the related Ethics Committee investigation.
Okay.
Research are periodically held and data expunged until sentencing is complete.
I'm gonna make a quick, without reading the special containment procedures, just for the fuck of it, I want to lock in my guess now to see if I'm right.
Okay.
I want to guess it was the common cold.
We'll find out. Item number,
Alright.
SCP-2700. Object class, Keter.
Well, shouldn't it say EX and be like...
No, this is
or
like
is the notice...
This is the historical record, yeah.
Okay, so unlike other ones where they like crossed it out, they just have the notice, and then
Yeah.
they kept
I probably
the rest
prefer
the
that, to
same.
be honest.
I actually do too.
Special containment procedures. Foundation personnel implanted within medical insurance corporations to monitor incoming claims for symptoms of the SCP. Upon detection, the nearest MTF with biomedical capabilities will be deployed to the subject's location or to secure quarantine. Family or roommates cohabitating with the subject to be checked for infection. Well, this reads differently now. Those cleared to be anesthetized and released, while those infected will be transported with the original subject.
How long do you think it's going to take for some dipshit to make a coronavirus SCP?
Well, it happens almost immediately.
It already happened?
Yeah, it's been deleted. It's Area 12 facility.
I was about to say, oh my god.
Due to the SCP's highly contagious nature, the following quarantine measures have been enacted. All personnel assigned to the SCP are to be male. Unauthorized personnel are not permitted access to Ward 2700. Level 4 decontamination protocols are required for 2700 personnel to leave Ward 2700. As few personnel are to be assigned to the SCP as possible.
Alright.
Description. SCP-2700 is an anomalous, multi-stage illness with an exceptionally infectious nature. While it's been found to affect male subjects, it is over 100 times more likely to infect females. It's hypothesized that
Wow.
12.5% of women worldwide are currently infected with some form of the SCP.
Interesting.
The SCP infection causes the cellular cycle to break down at the apoptosis stage. Rather than dying naturally, cells affected by the SCP will continue to live and group together into large clumps, causing the following symptoms. Unusual thickness of the skin, buckling or dimpling of the skin, rash or discharge around infection site, constant pain and swelling at infection sites, necrotizing of surrounding tissue causing black oozing sores. More severe cases may become metastatic, spreading throughout the body and multiplying symptoms across multiple sites. Left untreated, the SCP infection could lead to full-body necrotizing fasciitis and redacted.
You know what this kind of sounds like? Sounds a little bit like cancer.
So researcher Harold Perry has volunteered to lead research in the SCP. Any and all inquiries will be directed through him. Note from EC3, so Ethics Committee 3 here.
Okay. How many are there?
So it's a lot. There's a lot of more differing interpretations of the Ethics Committee set up than, for example, the O5. Because O5 Council, everyone generally agrees 1305 and do different shit. Ethics Committee is very different. Some of them have it like this, where it's sort of like the O5 but EC and then a number. I personally just have it with names and shit. Like I have a chairman who was always the same chairman when I write an SCP, and I think there's like loads more. There's like probably like 100 members of the actual committee because they all have to vote on this shit. So, note from EC3, so this is sort of after the fact here. The best place to hide a lie is inside the truth. Symptoms of the SCP are in fact all factual symptoms of breast cancer.
Oh, there we go.
As is that 12.5 number. 1 in 8 women born in 2015 will likely face breast cancer at some point in their lives. All Perry had to do was exaggerate a symptom and claim that it was a highly contagious epidemic. That let him both claim the anomaly and get him the ability to quarantine himself with his work.
So I was based with the cancer
Yeah.
prediction? Oh god, this is long.
They're actually fairly short notes. It just sort of looks longer because of the...
Yeah, because they're spaced all
Yeah.
wonky.
Note from EC3. Evidence against the SCP head researcher Harold Perry has been gathered from his research notes, email correspondence, and security footage. All information is presented in chronological order. 01/17/2015. Research note. The new group of D-Class personnel has come in. Our new detection protocols are becoming more and more accurate. We're able to screen and find multiple infected subjects. You see, I decided halfway through that he had an accent.
There you go.
01/27/2015. Research note. D2990 passed away today. Wherever this is, it hit hard and fast. Better to have as few people involved as possible on the project to make sure we can keep this contained. Reminder to update containment procedures. Body disposed of. 02/04/2015. Research note. I'm getting worried about the stability of D2994. Place her into long-term care while we continue work on the other subjects. 02/14/2015. Area 12 security footage. 01/03/15. Dr. Perry leaves the ward. 01/08/32. He enters the men's restroom. 01/10/23. He exits the restroom carrying a red heart-shaped box. 01/14/12. He returns to Ward 2700.
Is that a Nirvana reference?
No.
Is that actually like another SCP or some shit, or
No.
What is that?
That's a heart-shaped box.
Oh, is it just has chocolates in it or something?
Probably. 03/18/2015. Email to Dr. Tanhony, head researcher to SCP 9000.
Oh no.
From Dr.
Yes.
Perry, head researcher, SCP-2700. Subject, request 9,2700 H.
I love how when a doctor's name isn't censored, it's you either know it's like a really serious epic SCP about their character arc, or that doctor got fucking terminated. Those are the only two things that can mean.
Body. Dr. Tanhon, we're working on a highly infectious disease anomaly, requesting cross-test with SCP-9000 to check for efficacy.
Efficacy.
To Dr. Perry, head researcher, SCP-2700. From Dr. Tanhon, head researcher.
Alright, we can probably...
SCP-9000.
You can just say who it's from and to...
Okay. Subject, the request. Sure, Harold. We'll have that over to you tomorrow. Good luck. Research notes. The D-Class responded exceptionally poorly to treatment with SCP-9000. Bodies to disposed of. SCP-9000 returned to Site-99. D-2994 seems stable, but I can tell she's getting weaker.
No.
04-15-2015. Research notes. D-3157 responding well to treatment cycle Lambda, but was not cured.
I've never seen someone treat a D-Class so well to keep them alive. If anything, it'd be like, yeah, let's see how fast you die, idiot. Yeah. It's all for science.
Body disposed of. D-2994's health is deteriorating more rapidly than before. 04-15-2015. Email. To Dr. Worcestershire, head researcher at SCP-111.
Didn't we use Worcestershire before?
Yeah,
Who
it's
was he from?
him, I guess. From Dr. Perry, subject, request for cross-test. Body. Dr. Worcester, we're working on a highly infectious disease anomaly, requesting a cross-test of the SCP to check for efficacy. To Dr. Perry, from Dr. Worcestershire. Request denied.
No.
Research notes. I think we may have found a breakthrough. D-3302 is responding very well to treatment cycle Z. Her tumors seem to be shrinking and her energy levels are going up. This could be it. And research note. Note, handwriting on this document was notably erratic when compared to other research documents. The D-Class died. She was doing so well and... Damn it! All these cutting-edge technology, all these anomalies, what the hell are they good for? Monica doesn't have much time left. What am I going to do?
Oh, he called her by her name! Is Monica his wife, or one of the D-Class?
Incident reports. Dr. Perry was subdued during an attempt to steal an instance of SCP Blank. Guards reports that Doctor attempted to use a shift change to get past security, but tripped its pressure sensor. Minor injuries reported for all parties involved.
I think I figured out what happened here. I want to guess before we get to the final thing. Because he said Monica, and I realized maybe Monica's his girlfriend or wife. I bet he knew this was breast cancer, right? But he tried to pass it off this way, and he was trying to see if there was anything the SCP Foundation had that could cure it, so he could help his wife/girlfriend. Or family member, whoever Monica is. So he was probably doing this all to help somebody.
Final bit here. Minutes provided from Ethics Committee Deliberation Meeting 801-2015. Only deliberations pertinent to this incident are provided. So, there's 4 guys talking here. Which ones do you want to be? There's Chair, 2, 3, and 4.
I'll be Chair in 2.
Okay.
Moving on, next item on the agenda. Harold Perry, head researcher of the now defunct SCP-2700-EX project, has been charged with 1 count of falsifying D-Class collection procedures, minor infraction, 1 count of falsifying containment documentation, major infraction, reckless use of D-Class personnel, minor infraction, RIP! Reckless use of an anomalous object, major infraction, 2 counts of assaulting security personnel, major infraction, and 1 count of attempted theft of SCP triple digits, major infraction. I'm assuming that's that amulet we didn't really go over about, like, healing people.
Yeah, it's ambiguous, yeah.
Yeah. Investigation details?
SCP-2700-EX has been determined through tissue samples to be non-anomalous breast cancer. Harold cherry-picked and exaggerated symptoms and completely falsified the highly contagious aspect to both cover this fact and gain tighter control of the project using quarantine protocols. From there, he misused D-Class personnel in at least 1 anomaly, as well as attempting to steal a blank of...
What punishment does the O5 Council recommend?
Forced retirement, placement into civilian society at level C.
Let's say level A. The Overseers will balk at us and we'll end up settling at level B. In the meantime, hold Dr. Perry at Metasite 42 until his wife I was right! No! Dr. Perry!
No.
He won't remember after we set him loose, but I'll sleep better. Next on the agenda.
Final sentence pending.
Oh, I can't believe I called it. I'm sad. So, what does level A, B, and C mean for civilian life?
I'm not sure. I assume it's like different sort of class backgrounds.
Maybe it's the level of amnestic?
Maybe.
Maybe a type of, I imagine C is like they don't need to be watched, B is some parole, and A is like tight leash. I don't know. That's so sad that there's no SCPs that can cure cancer, except probably the pills.
There probably is one that can do it, but it's like, you can't have that.
Yeah, we can't help people. We're just here to poke at spooky shit.
If it doesn't kill a D-class, what's the point?
I would like, and I still haven't read 5000, but I think I know the general vibe of what it is. I would like the opposite of 5000, where it's an alternate universe where the SCP turns all their resources to helping people.
And then a meteor comes and kills them all.
all their D classes are treated extremely well and have like family dental and health plans.
I used to be sad all day, but then I joined up with the SCP Foundation.
No.
Well,
Alright.
We've got through the actual SCPs. It's time for your comments. You thought you
Yeah.
could get away, right? You thought you could just comment on my fucking video and get away
upvoting
with
this
it?
SCP and giving that one a 9 out of 10. That was really good. Go check out these from.
Yeah, but
And before the comments, I have an anecdote to tell the people.
tell me about it.
So, you know, everyone makes passing jokes about Tam being British or whatever. I don't care. But this actually embarrassed me, and this is a true story. So,
Wait, what?
Tanhony, when we've read some of this person's SCPs, he'll refer to them as Peppa's Ghost, to the point where I was talking to someone the other day, and I thought their name was Peppa's Ghost, and I spelled it Peppahs, and someone was like, did you mean Pepper's Ghost? And I was like, this fucking bastard! I thought it was Peppa's Ghost.
What's wrong,
It's him. He made me look like an idiot!
Oh, the car
Yeah.
started. Now we're driving to Comments Town.
Yeah, wait, what about the soul hospital? I really need to get healed.
You forget about your soul. Humans don't need those.
No, I do.
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll have one for sale.
Fine.
It won't be
I'll just do it
yours,
the old-fashioned
but
way.
they might do.
I reach my hand out of the window of the car and snatch a soul from someone else, eating it.
How does it taste?
Terrible.
I see
All
you've
right.
received their memories of reading the comments.
Yes. Do you want me to read these?
Yes.
Okay. First, from Honestic. Sorry I got on you guys' case over syncope. I was going for funny mad, but I guess I didn't get that across. Anyway, you should read 2006 and 2521
Which video
before
are
you
you reading
get
the
to
comments
S4.
for?
And also, this is 33, La Paz the Peace.
Oh, I don't see that one.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of them, that's why I'm the one reading them.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
there
also,
it is.
Darnell should start an SCP ASMR channel, Winky Face with a P. Also, I've been listening to Aetheral Space and I claim my internet hug. I give you your internet hug. You can't hear it, but I'm hugging you.
Well done. Well done. Don't forget to leave a review.
As for the syncope thing, don't worry. We didn't think you were actually mad. I was just funny exasperated.
I thought you were going to come and kill me.
Tanhony, thoughts about 2006 and 2521? I don't know what those are.
I forgot as well. We'll probably get to them at some point.
I'm getting a call, and I don't know if it's from my doctor. I know we're in a podcast, but I'm just going to hang up and hope it's not important.
Okay.
An anomalous...
We'll want updates on that next episode.
I don't know if I should tell people about my real-life medical. I think that's a little too personal.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Anomalous Writer comments, will Darnell ever read JSCPs and SCP-5000 in the future? The answer right away, absolutely yes. In fact, can I tell them, No. Can I tell them our general game plan?
We have a game. Yeah, sure.
So the general game plan that we planned from the beginning, which is subject to change, is Tan's gonna, without making it obvious, run me through all the SCPs mentioned in 5000, and then I believe SCP-5000 is supposed to be episode 100, but depending on how it goes, maybe it'll be SCP-50, maybe we'll reach a point where we say fuck it and do it. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm not
going to space
it out for that
very
nice even
basic
number.
Yeah, but that's like our very basic setup that we agreed on when we first started. It's probably subject to change. P.S. to anyone who has not read Aetheral Space, read Aetheral Space. Do it. This is a threat. Okay, bye! Anomalous writer based. Boris WW
Exactly.
replied, well, there were joke SCPs in episode 27B. There were. Lost Network
like
says,
he's here in the
Robot
room
eats
with me.
things is my takeaway from the episode, to which I said, true.
True.
True. All right, next, from Quaker Buttonnose, which is the cutest username I've ever heard. When you get to Series 4, will you read SCP-3477? It's probably my favorite SCP I've ever read, but while it's not, like, totally unknown, I feel like it deserves to be a lot more popular than it is. Also, it would be funny to see one of you try to do an Australian accent while you're reading it out loud.
We will.
What do you think, Tan?
I will.
We will read it?
Your username and your earnestness have touched my heart. We will read it.
Yeah. All right, next we have Hunter Spataphora, who's left a shorter comment than usual.
It's like a novella.
Comment. Yeah. So first, there's a timestamp for what happened to Tanhony Towers, which I love. There's
I
a
like
more
total
timestamp.
comments 5 out of 15. Like his ammo.
I fucking love Hunter Spataphora.
Yeah,
He's
Hunter,
grown on me
anything
so
we
much.
say here is a joke. Do not take it seriously.
Yeah. Then there's a timestamp for the Twisted Gears Cactus proposal. Most of the comments are about the comment reading, but the one on the proposal says the 001 Apotheosis entity sounds like an accidentally created artificial Tarrasque in Dungeons and Dragons. I can see that.
Is that a common thing in D&D?
The Tarrasque?
Or like an artificially accidentally...
No. He's just saying artificially because it's the Broken God. Tarrasque is like the big, funny monster DMs lord over their players. It's like a CR-30, like, giant dinosaur.
Yeah, it's the one that
just
kills
destroys everything. Yeah,
It-
it just destroys and
It's
eats
the bad
everything.
end.
Bad end monster. Yeah, it's, how do I explain this? You know the white whale in ReZero? It's just that. It's just the white whale. Comment reading.
It's like Music
I'll always
City.
try to use preferred names. Darnell will always be Darnell unless he wants to be called something else.
Oh.
Then, I'm starting to wonder if I should make a list of all the SCPs that commenters are recommending for Tanhony. I would say, you by no means you don't need to feel like you have to, but if you did, it would be based.
It will be based.
Next, how does the video discussion on Discord work? So
we have
video
a-
discussion... Oh yeah, go ahead, Dan.
We have a channel in Discord called Video Discussion, and in there you can discuss the videos.
Yeah. If you want more hard deadlines, we're not going to, like, yell at you or ban you if you stray in a normal conversation, but generally, that's an area where you can talk about the contents of, like, the latest video we put out without worrying about spoiling anyone over what SCPs we've gone over, or, like, if it's one of our gaming videos, like some joke in the gaming videos. I often like to talk about those because I really like our gaming videos, but I don't feel like a lot of people watch them. Like, I don't think enough people got to see the brilliance of the Battleship one with Bronson and Django. So good.
People must be so
And the
confused. This is like Battleship as characters.
Yeah, the iconic fucking line, we'll kill 100 men for every minute. Throw them overboard. Finally, I'm going to restrict what I comment on and how I comment from now on to hopefully avoid any rudeness, negativity, or passive aggression. This should also hopefully reduce my comment length greatly. So let me tell you this.
Pressured to restrict your comments. We love your comments.
Exactly. We tease and joke with you sometimes, but we've never like been mad. We like your comments, and also some people may disagree with me because I'm not trying to be like don't like obviously respect people that you talk to, but at the same time it is the internet, so like you don't need to worry so much about how we feel as like relatively public figures,
Yeah.
you know. Because we want people to feel like they can make memes and jokes at our expense without feeling like they're going to offend us or get banned or something. That's a little silly. Our whole point of the podcast is making jokes, so I never want you to feel bad about what you write. I just sometimes poke fun, and I forget that makes me come off as aggressive, so I apologize. But no, all your comments are fine.
Please
You write
don't
how
worry.
you want. Yeah. And then there's a timestamp for Plug Zone. There are 2 replies to this that says... Hunter says, I just rewatched Tanhony and Darnell reading my comment. I've noticed I'm pretty arrogant. I definitely need to change how and what I comment on. You're not arrogant, you're fine.
You're fine.
And then Boris says, regarding point 3, I'm pretty sure they're already doing
God,
that.
sorry.
And if not, then it's probably by design. On the other hand, that sounds like something I do out of boredom. So why not? Fucking king shit, Boris! I love you. Alright, you guys don't know this, but we have like a group chat with all our future guests and past guests, and Boris is in it, and he linked us like an Excel spreadsheet of all our data, and it's so cool.
It's insane.
So shout out to Boris WW, aka Boro610. Give him some love in the server, or check out some of the translations he's done. He's a fucking king. I love him. All right. Yeah. So next we have a standalone comment from Boris WW. The last ones are replies. So you've decided to tackle the monstrosity. Can't wait to hear more, though I hope you space the installments out a bit. Otherwise, it's gonna be a many months long slog. Also, could you please read my... Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry! Oh man, I'm so cringe! He said, can you please read my comments in a normal voice? I'm so sorry! I hadn't read that comment ahead of time because it's new. Oh no! I'm sorry, I failed to honor you, Boris. From now, I'm so sorry. Oh, this is one of those things that's going to keep me up at night for years to come.
This episode is recorded with apologies to Boris WW.
Boris, I will read your comments normally. I was trying to be funny / respect you, but I won't do it anymore. I'm so sorry. I was doing it in the comments.
I was trying to respect you by doing an impression.
It's like how I make fun of Tanhony sometimes, but I love him. I do it because I respect him. You know, I don't make fun of people. I don't make fun of people's voices who I don't know. I do that with like my friend, and I wasn't making fun of your voice. Okay, I'm just digging myself in a grave. I like to do
dual wheel.
I like to do impressions of like my friends' voices. Because I know they're my friends and they won't get mad at me. I apologize. I won't do it anymore.
You do impressions of my voice?
I literally done it in front of you. When I'm trying to work through something, can you work with me? I do it all the time. I used to make like shitty British impressions at Tan. You're not helping my case, Tan.
No, I'm kidding.
Work with me. Yeah, but no, I will definitely read your comments normally. I'm beat red. Yeah. Sorry. Chaos Corvid. Should do SCP-5001 next. I know it's more than a bit out of order, but it's honestly so topical, and I know Darnell would like it, assuming he solves the mystery.
I understand that team-wise it may be similar.
It's very out of... Yeah,
please.
And
it's chronological!
Also, this person, I'm not going to call out who they are, but they did kind of spoil the mystery for me when I described what they said to me to Tan. So we probably won't get to that now.
Not immediately.
We already know what
in the future, it is a good article. We'll probably read it in the future, but...
Yeah, maybe. I might forget about it by then.
We are
absolute shit to your memory.
3. It's in season 6.
Yeah, we got a long way to go.
I can't read it yet. I'm sorry.
Next, from Comedy Man Kelp. If Tan and Darnell don't escape the Zafe Zone soon, I might have to step in. Thanks. I appreciate it.
That's okay. That's okay.
He's actually the one who released us from the Zafe Zone. After Tan stole my soul, he fucking tore open a rip in the zone, and he said, what?
That person, Comedy Man Kelp.
He's so strong.
It's part of the court of heaven.
Chris Carlson. I'm sorry, I still can't get over the Boris thing. Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
What does Chris Carlson's voice sound like?
No, we're not. You know what? I'm never doing anyone's voice ever again. Just doing my voice for comments. Chris Carlson. You got to read the 001 Broke God. Yeah, he ran out of money. It was really sad.
He gotta.
I wonder if the reason we're having a national change shortage in America is because we threw all our pennies into the Broken God.
Worth it. And the national change shortage in America? Just make more pennies. Smile.
It's because people don't really use change anymore, so they apparently people are throwing it in the trash. But the point is, should we? Because no one uses change anymore.
Just make more money, Smile.
Yeah, of course. And then lastly, from Good Day, he says, reject the cog and gears, embrace the flesh, praise be all the boeth. I would, but see, the thing about sarcasm is it's just really boring. Sorry. Yeah, I said it.
This guy, he's got no filter at all. Even after what he did to Boris WW.
Boris, no, stop, please! I actually am cringing so hard.
So that's gonna be the next 10 podcast episodes of content.
Yeah. Stop! But yeah, no, I don't know. Jokes aside, I know there's like a meme rivalry between the two. I don't really... It's like, I now understand how anyone who's not a part of a community feels when they go and see and people keep spamming a community-specific meme. It's just... I mean, I'm not saying you're obnoxious, Jack. Obviously, you're fine. This isn't me singling you out. But in general, anytime that Broken God or sarcasm is brought up and everyone has to do the whole side thing, I get it's a community meme, but for me as an outsider, it's just kind of annoying. I don't know. But no, I'm not saying you're annoying or anything, but just in general, so I don't really care. What are your thoughts on it, Tan?
I like it.
You like the meme?
I like conflict.
You just like murder.
I want to see our fans.
To be fair, if you wanna be a writer, you kind of have to like conflict, since that's basically writing every story. There has to be conflict.
Yeah. I like to mess.
I guess you could write a sweet slice of life story. It's like I went to the shop and I picked up some bread, and then I ate the bread and it tasted good. Thank you, bread.
Nice.
Yeah, I wrote that myself.
So, cool.
So where are we going in this car, buddy?
Don't you worry about that. You stare at the sign for Slaughterhouse go past.
You know why we're in this? What we're doing in this car? We're on the highway to... And then cut off the video right there.
Sure. You want me to cut off right there?
No, you ruined it!
Ruined what? Okay, so
You're
that's the end of the
supposed to cut it off
podcast.
right
Bye!
Bye!